A storm is coming to Heartland. For almost 2 decades, fans have watched love, loss, and the unshakable bond of family play out under the wide-open skies of Alberta. But now, the trailer for Season 19 has dropped a question that no one expected: is this the end of Heartland as we know it? For 18 unforgettable seasons, Heartland has given viewers more than just stories about horses and ranch life. It has been about family, resilience, and the power of holding on when everything else feels like it's falling apart. We've seen Amy grow from a young girl dealing with the tragic loss of her mother into a strong, independent woman who carries the legacy of horse whispering on her shoulders. Lou has struggled with balancing her dreams and responsibilities, proving that leadership doesn't always come without sacrifice. Tim has fought his inner battles while trying to be the father he never was. And then there's Jack, the heart of Heartland, whose wisdom and quiet strength have kept the family grounded through storms of every kind. Season after season, these characters have faced challenges, some heartbreaking, some inspiring, that mirrored the ups and downs of real life. Fans have celebrated weddings, grieved over losses, and cheered for every victory, big or small, on the ranch. And yet, through it all, there was always a sense of safety. No matter what came their way, Heartland was still there. The ranch was a constant. The family, though tested, always found a way back together. But the new Season 19 trailer changes everything. There's a sense of unease in the way it's cut, the choice of music, the pauses that leave you questioning what's left unsaid. In just a few moments, the trailer shifts the story from familiar comfort to something more dangerous, more uncertain. For the first time, fans are asking, could this really be the end? This season doesn't just feel like another chapter, it feels like a turning point. The stakes are higher, not only for the future of the ranch but for the characters themselves. From the way Amy looks out across the fields, you can sense a deep conflict brewing inside her. The trailer suggests that her choices may no longer be about just the horses, but about her future, her daughter, and what she truly wants in life. Lou, too, seems caught in a storm of decisions, ones that could either bring the family together or drive them apart forever. And then there's Jack, whose tired expression and quiet pauses raise a question no one wants to say out loud. Is the Rock of Heartland reaching the end of his journey? Every shot, every line, every moment in that trailer feels like a puzzle piece, hinting at a bigger story that has yet to be revealed. But one thing is clear: the days of predictable endings in Heartland may be gone. Instead, what lies ahead is a season filled with choices, consequences, and a shocking twist that could alter everything we thought we knew about this beloved series. Heartland has always been about finding hope, even in the darkest moments. But what happens when the darkness begins to close in too much? When the family is forced to face a truth that can't be ignored? Season 19 seems ready to answer those questions, and the answers may be more emotional, more heartbreaking, and more unforgettable than fans are prepared for. The Heartland trailer doesn't scream its secrets, it whispers them. And sometimes whispers are more powerful than words. In less than 2 minutes of footage, the producers have managed to turn years of comfort into a storm of questions. For longtime fans, the rhythm of Heartland has always felt steady. Yes, there are tears. Yes, there are struggles. But at the end of the day, the ranch stood tall, and family remained unbroken. Season 19's trailer breaks that rhythm. It suggests something none of us wanted to admit: nothing lasts forever. The first sign is not in the words but in the silence. Amy is shown standing by the barn, looking out at the open land, her face shadowed by the evening sun. She isn't smiling, and she isn't working with horses the way we've come to expect. Instead, her eyes hold something heavier: doubt, maybe, or fear. For a character who has always been certain of her place, this sudden uncertainty is unsettling. Fans can't help but wonder, is Amy questioning her life at Heartland? Could she be considering leaving the ranch that has defined her entire journey? Then comes Lou, seen in a heated exchange that the trailer cuts just short of explanation. We don't hear the full argument, but the way her voice breaks suggests a decision so big it could change everything for her and possibly the family too. Lou has always tried to carry the weight of leadership, of being the one to keep things running. But what if this season she chooses herself instead? What if her decisions mean the ranch faces a future without her steady guidance? And perhaps the most chilling moment is with Jack. He sits on the porch, hands folded, looking at the land he's built his life on. The music lowers. The world seems to pause. There's no dialogue here, but none is needed. Jack's silence is louder than words. The camera lingers on him as if to say, this could be the end of an era. Fans know Jack has been the unshakable foundation, but the trailer dares to ask what happens if that foundation is gone. The beauty of the trailer is in what it doesn't show. It leaves us filling the gaps with our own fears. We see horses running wild across a field, but we don't know why. We hear a door slam, but we don't see who walks away. A single line echoes in the middle of the trailer. Sometimes, letting go is the only way forward. It's not credited to any character, and maybe that's the point. It could belong to Amy, to Lou, to Jack, or even to all of them. Whoever says it, the weight of those words tells us that Heartland Season 19 is not about small conflicts, it's about choices that can't be undone. This is where the shocking twist begins to take form. For years, the show has reminded us that life on a ranch is hard, but family makes it worth it. The trailer flips that idea on its head. It whispers that family may not be enough to hold everything together this time. It hints at a choice so devastating, so final, that it could redefine what Heartland even means. And yet, as heavy as this all feels, there is still hope woven into the mystery. The trailer doesn't leave us in despair, it leaves us curious. It invites us to question, to speculate, to brace ourselves for something no fan expected to face. It promises not just another season, but a season where everything could change, where a single decision could mark the end of Heartland or spark a new beginning no one saw coming. At its heart, Heartland has never been about the horses alone, it's about the people who love them, and the family who holds on to each other when the world tries to tear them apart. That's what has made the show more than just television. It's what has turned it into a story that feels personal, almost like home, for millions of viewers around the world. And that's exactly why the Season 19 trailer hits so hard. It tugs at the very roots of what Heartland has always stood for: love, loss, and legacy. The emotional pull begins with the ranch itself. For nearly 2 decades, Heartland Ranch has been more than a setting. It has been a character in its own right. The fields, the fences, the barn, and the mountains in the distance, they've been silent witnesses to every triumph and every heartbreak. But in the trailer, there's something different about the way the ranch is shown. The camera lingers longer. The skies feel darker. The space is emptier. The land we once associated with safety now feels fragile, as if even it knows a goodbye is coming. And then there's Amy. Throughout the years, she has been the emotional anchor of the series, carrying the spirit of her mother, Marion, while raising her daughter, Lindy, with that same fierce determination. But in the trailer, Amy's strength looks different. It's quieter, more reflective. She isn't just a horse whisperer anymore. She's a woman who has lived through love, grief, and sacrifice. When she gazes at Lindy in one fleeting shot, there's something in her eyes that says she might be questioning whether staying in Heartland is still the life she wants for her daughter, or if holding on too tightly could cause them both a brighter future elsewhere. Lou's emotional weight is different, but just as powerful. For years, she has tried to juggle responsibility and ambition, family and independence. But the trailer teases a moment where Lou's voice cracks, where she says, "I can't keep doing this." Whether she's talking about the ranch, her role as mayor, or her family obligations, the pain behind those words is raw. Lou has always been the one to step up, to fill the gap when others couldn't. But Season 19 seems to ask the unthinkable. What happens if Lou finally puts herself first? What if her choice means breaking the chain of sacrifice that has kept Heartland alive? And then, of course, there's Jack. Jack has been the soul of Heartland, the steady hand on the reins when everything else spun out of control. Fans have always leaned on him as much as the characters do. But in the trailer, Jack is different. He looks older, more tired, as if the years have finally caught up to him. In one haunting moment, he's shown sitting alone, staring into the distance. His silence is crushing because we all know what it could mean. The thought of Heartland without Jack is almost unbearable, and that's exactly why this season feels like it's walking toward a goodbye no one is ready for. The emotional core of the trailer is not built on explosions, betrayals, or action. It's built on something far deeper. The fear of letting go. Letting go of dreams. Letting go of responsibilities. Letting go of people we love. That's why season 19 feels so different. Every great story comes to a crossroads, and season 19 of Heartland feels like it has reached the most important one yet. For years, fans have felt a sense of safety in knowing that, no matter the hardships, the family would find a way back to the ranch. But the trailer for this season asks a question that shakes the very core of that promise. What if Heartland itself can survive? The final moments of the trailer are designed not just to tease, but to haunt. The screen fades to black, only to show Amy walking away from the barn, her silhouette framed against the setting sun. There's no music, only the sound of footsteps on gravel. A voice, low, heavy, almost trembling, says, "Sometimes the hardest part isn't holding on. It's knowing when to let go." We don't see who speaks the line. We don't know who it's meant for. And that mystery is what makes it so devastating. From that moment on, fans are left in limbo. Does Amy's walk mean she's leaving Heartland? Does the line belong to Jack, preparing to say goodbye to the land he's poured his life into? Or is it Lou, ready to put herself first after years of sacrifice? The trailer doesn't answer. It leaves us staring at the unknown, asking questions we don't want answered but can't stop thinking about. The emotional weight of this uncertainty is what makes the twist so powerful. For nearly 2 decades, Heartland has been built on endurance. Characters fall, stumble, and lose their way, but somehow, the ranch always pulls them back together. Season 19 seems to break that cycle, daring us to imagine a world where not everything can be fixed, where some rides really do end. But maybe, just maybe, that's the point. Life isn't about avoiding endings. It's about what we carry with us when they come. And Heartland has always been about carrying love forward, even when loss tries to break us. If season 19 is truly the final ride, it won't be remembered for how it ended, but for how it made us feel along the way. It will be remembered for the laughter around the dinner table, the quiet moments of healing with a horse, and the lessons of strength that came from Jack's words, Amy's courage, Lou's determination, and Tim's redemption. As the trailer fades out, the audience isn't given closure. Instead, they're given a choice: to see this as the end or to see it as the beginning of a new chapter, one that hasn't yet been written. That's the genius of the twist. It doesn't just leave us wondering about the characters, it leaves us questioning our own relationship with the story. What will Heartland mean without the ranch? Without Jack? Without Amy at its center? Could it even continue at all? Or would it become something entirely different? And so, the final question lingers, hanging in the silence long after the trailer ends. Is this truly the last ride? Or is Heartland about to surprise us once again? The only way to know is to watch. But no matter what happens, one thing is certain. Season 19 will not just be another chapter, it will be the one that defines the legacy of Heartland forever. So prepare yourself. Hold on to the memories, the emotions, and the love that has carried this story for nearly 2 decades. Because when the season begins, the question won't just be what happens to Heartland. The question will be, are we ready to let go? And maybe that's the twist that hurts the most. When a trailer leaves more questions than answers, the natural response is speculation, and the Heartland fandom has never been shy about building theories. Season 19's teaser has sparked an explosion of conversations, debates, and late-night predictions. Everyone wants to know, what is the shocking twist that could change everything? And more importantly, who does it involve? One of the most popular theories focuses on Amy Fleming. Her role as the heart of the show makes her the most obvious candidate for a life-altering decision. Some fans believe the trailer's darker tone and Amy's quiet stares at the horizon suggest she's preparing to leave Heartland. Not out of bitterness, but out of love for her daughter Lindy, and the desire to give her a future outside the weight of the ranch. After years of carrying everyone else's burdens, Is Amy finally choosing her own path? Could this be the story of her learning that sometimes letting go doesn't mean giving up, but moving forward? Another theory centers on Bartlett-Fleming, whose journey has always been a balancing act between responsibility and independence. The clip of her breaking down mid-argument has fueled speculation that Lou is reaching her breaking point. Some fans think she might resign as mayor or even step away from the ranch entirely. Others suggest she could be the one considering a move, a chance to reclaim her life outside of Heartland. If Lou were to walk away, the ripple effect on the family and the ranch could be enormous. But perhaps the theory that has hit the fandom hardest involves Jack Bartlett. The quiet patriarch has been the symbol of strength since the very beginning, but the trailer paints him in a different light, slower, more reflective, even vulnerable. Many fans fear the twist could be Jack's final chapter. The idea of Heartland without Jack feels almost unthinkable, but that's exactly why the possibility feels so real. The show has never shied away from loss, and Jack's departure would be a blow so devastating. It could force every character to reevaluate their lives and futures. There are even wilder theories, too, ones that go beyond the obvious. Some believe the twist isn't about a character leaving at all, but about the ranch itself. Could the family be at risk of losing Heartland Ranch entirely? The trailer's repeated images of wide-open fields and fences breaking down could hint at financial struggles, land disputes, or even a natural disaster that threatens the very ground the family has built their lives on. Losing the ranch would be like losing a character, and it would truly shake the story to its core. Others think the twist might not be tragic, but transformational. Could season 19 introduce a storyline that sets the stage for the next generation, Lindy, Katie, and the younger characters taking the lead? If so, the final ride might not mean the end of Heartland, but the end of the old era and the beginning of something brand new. The beauty of the trailer is that it gives just enough to fuel every one of these theories, but not enough to confirm any of them. That's why fans are buzzing online, creating edits, writing predictions, and arguing passionately about what's coming. Some hope for a bittersweet farewell. Others are holding on to the belief that the twist is just a misdirection, that Heartland will endure, because that's what it has always done. But the truth is, no theory feels impossible. That's what makes this moment so exciting and so terrifying for fans. For the first time in years, we don't know what to expect. The only certainty is that whatever the twist may be, it will test not just the family on screen, but the fans themselves. Are we ready for the possibility of goodbye? Or will Heartland remind us that even when we expect endings, new beginnings can still rise from the ashes? And now, we reach the edge of the storm. Season 19's trailer doesn't just tease a twist, it leaves us dangling over a cliff, holding our breath, desperate for answers. It isn't just another season teaser, it's a challenge, a dare, a whisper asking us, are you ready to face the truth? Even if it changes everything you thought you knew about Heartland. The beauty and cruelty of the trailer is in what it refuses to give away. We don't know if Amy is walking away from the ranch, if Lou is finally putting herself first, if Jack is facing his final sunset, or if the ranch itself is the one in jeopardy. What we know is that something is coming, something that cannot be undone. That is why fans around the world are restless, because this isn't just about a show anymore. This is about closure, legacy, and the stories we carry with us when the credits roll. For the last time, for nearly 2 decades, Heartland has been more than a series. It has been a companion. Families watched it together. Children grew up with it. Viewers found hope in it when their own lives felt unsteady. It was always there, like the ranch itself, solid, dependable, a place you could return to week after week. But the season 19 trailer threatens to change that. It asks us to consider the possibility that even the most familiar stories must one day end, and that's where the cliffhanger lives, not in action or spectacle, but in silence and uncertainty. It's the unspoken question we all feel. Is this the final ride? The producers don't answer, and perhaps they never will. At least not until the very last episode. That's what makes this season so unforgettable before it even begins. It's not about knowing, it's about not knowing. It's about sitting with the fear, the hope, and the heartbreak all at once. But here's where you come in, the fans. Heartland has always been shaped by the people who love it. Your voices, your theories, your memories are what keep this story alive. The trailer is not just asking the characters to choose, it's asking you to choose too. Do you believe this is the end? Or do you believe Heartland still has another beginning left in it? Do you see Amy's silence as goodbye? Or as the calm before a new fight? Do you believe Jack's weary gaze is farewell? Or the quiet before another piece of wisdom that will pull the family back together? This is the moment where fandom becomes part of the story. Every comment, every theory, every piece of speculation is a way of holding on to Heartland, of keeping the legacy alive, no matter what season 19 brings. Because whether this is the last ride or not, one truth remains: Heartland has always belonged to its fans as much as it has to its characters.